My arrivals in Paris have become quite routine. I make my way to a small studio apartment in the suburbs. Upon arrival, I make myself a pot of coffee and just enjoy the calm before I fall asleep from a jet lag-induced haze. And upon getting up, I make my way to go meet friends, to get some food, because at this point I'm usually famished, and just take my time and enjoy the relaxing calm. When people know you're an artist and you're going to Paris, I think they have this preconceived notion of what that looks like, and to an extent I understand that. I remember my first trip to Paris, my expectations of being immediately inspired in the city where... So when the things are pretty, only the pretty things like Geneville. Tell me the story.
No, I don't know the story.
Tell me the story of Mille Montants.
I know the story for food, not for Mille Montants.
Ouais. Many of the artists that I love, the Impressionists, Monet, Renoir. But Paris is kind of like Patty. We're too busy, not enough money. At one point, very inspiring, and on the other hand, very crazy, chaotic, beautiful. It's not the impression that you think you would get the first time going there. I remember the first time I went, I did not like the city at all. It was only by chance I happened to be there a second time. And I think going there the second time without an expectation of anything is where the city was able to actually unfold to me. It wasn't about the beautiful buildings and the culture and the absolutely gorgeous museums. It was about the people. And I think no matter where we go, that's usually where one finds their inspiration, would be in the people. I had been stuck there because my flights got messed up, and I ended up meeting a group of musicians the first time I had went. And when I came back, in a way free of my tourist trappings, and I just had time to enjoy the city with people who live there. And I got a different perspective of it. Don't get me wrong, I still do a lot of the stereotypical things that one might think. I've spent hours, days, sitting in Musée de l'Orange, sketching Monet, or just sitting there and savoring the quiet moment, studying brushstrokes in Musée d'Orsay. Those quiet mornings when one gets there before all the tourists have woken up, and you have an entire room of beautiful paintings to spend your day with. My favorite building. I go to small galleries and talk to artists. I go to gallery openings or meet for coffee and have very in-depth conversations, which is all part of the fodder that leads to the inspiration that I feel those artists from back in the day would have felt. But it's more than a it's more than a it's more than an instant feeling. It's something that only comes when you're not looking for it, when you relax and become open to receiving those around you. And for me, it doesn't happen where one would think it would happen. It happens in very normal, mundane things, and it happens outside of my realm of my artistic ambition. I think that's why I tend to find
Les Français, ils ont tué le roi.
Ah, wow. Oui, oui, oui.
But that you know that you.
Oui, 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 oui. A lot of that inspiration with the musicians, because I'm forced outside my realm of comfort.
Qu'est-ce que tu filmes? L'empêche.
No, the lights. They might, push me up there one day to sing or play horrible, horrible guitar and encourage me, or the discussions come from a different perspective than where I come from, and it makes one think about things in a different way and opens your eyes to different perspectives. It's the calmness of the days, the slow pace, the taking the time to enjoy one's coffee or one's breakfast, taking a coffee on the patio, and enjoy listening to the birds that you can strangely hear despite the ridiculous amount of traffic. Everybody always gets the impression that Parisians are rude, and as a tourist, I think I had found that there was that feel that everybody was just not in the mood to deal with your horrible French and English sputterings. But once you slow down and come into it from a perspective of what the city actually is, it takes on a different meaning. There's a mixture of old and an influx of new. The days when you think of artists huddled in a dingy cafe, drinking cheap red wine, philosophizing, talking over projects, and exploring the deep meaning of life, perhaps, is still a sentiment that holds true there. But there's also this vibrant breathing of life. There's innovation, new thought, mingled with the old thought. It's a different atmosphere. And it's easy to see why one might go crazy there. It's a dual feeling of so much chaos that at points it gets to be too much, and one can very easily lose themselves in that. But then on the other hand, it's a very calm, slow, relaxing jaunt compared to North American life. For me, the routine that is Paris, the relaxation, the friends, the food, the music, meeting people from all different walks of life. From artists to engineers to plumbers to dancers to actresses, and they all come down to one level when the music starts playing. You're all the same. At moments it seems like too much. There's too much noise, too many things going on. There's a craziness that slowly starts to creep in. And one wonders, or at least I wonder, if I could maintain my sanity in an environment like that long term. Would it be worth it? The inspiration that flows when one is in that environment? Could one find a way to retain their sanity while at the same time going crazy? Is it worth it?